way too many players into platinum and not enough players into gold and silver. So for Season 3, we want to move more of the player base into gold and silver. And so far, when I've mentioned this to everybody, they're like, damn straight, like way too many people in platinum, got to get those scrubs out of platinum. And I have this fear, like I'm going to have a Nostradamus moment right now of the rage that's going to come as we move lots of players into gold and silver. Because everybody tends to have that attitude of like, yeah, I'm the platinum guy, but these guys.
Look at this. What the fuck is this?
We need to clear a lot of things up. Jeff, thank you very much, my glamorous assistant, for introducing the video. But we need to talk about placement, and we need to talk about rank as well, and what's been happening after the placement games, because a lot of people are really angry, and kind of rightfully so, because nobody likes to be told you're bad, right? Or not that you're bad, but that you're actually worse than you thought you were, because that's not great, right? If somebody came up to me and went, oh yeah, Sty, you think you're a high diamond sort of middle master player? Nah, you're silver. Do you think I would sit there and be like, oh great, that's awesome news, thank you? No, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Like everybody has been doing. I have literally received hundreds, and I mean hundreds of messages in the last couple of hours alone over Twitter from people going, Sty, what is this? I used to be gold, now I'm silver. I used to be diamond, now I'm like low gold. I used to be this, and now I'm this. The thing is, and you've got to remember this, guys, in Season 2, the matchmaker was not working great for placement, right? So what happened is, and I'll refer to this thing as the matchmaker, because what that is a very complicated system which works out your MMR, which, in fact, let's have Jeff explain what MMR is.
MMR means matchmaking rating. It's a hidden number. It looks weird and mathematical, and only Tim can see it in the Matrix. But when we've miscalibrated on skill rating, there's more of a chase that needs to happen with your MMR to your skill rating, and that means that a player might have placed too high. We know by their MMR they're actually a lower skill player, so if they win a lot, we can't give them a lot because we know that they don't actually belong there. But for you, the individual, it just feels terrible. So for Season 3, our biggest hope is to recalibrate and then also redistribute players across that curve in a better way. And if it's wrong, we'll work on it and we'll fix it more.
Oh, thank you very much, Jeff. So you've got your MMR and then you've got your skill rating, and the matchmaker has to match you with players on your team of around the same skill against players of around the same skill, right? So you get a fair game, because what you don't want, especially in a competitive multiplayer game like Overwatch, is for really good players to play players that are maybe average, because they will get wrecked. And then what does that mean, right? That means the players that get wrecked, that get steamrolled, that get ruffle stomped, whatever, it means that they feel like shit, and it means that they don't want to play the game. So this is the problem Overwatch or any competitive game will always have, the matchmaking, right? It is the most complicated thing to work out, because how do you turn a player's skill into a mathematical figure that you can compare against every other player of the game? And think about how difficult this is. Overwatch is not a game of one character. If there was just one character in the game, right, so everybody was McCree, it would be very easy to work out the matchmaking because everybody has the same statistics. Overwatch is a game of currently 23 heroes, I believe. It'd be funny if I've got that wrong. I think it's 23. So that is a lot of heroes, and they're all completely different. They all do different things. It is very hard to work out. And guess what? It's not a 1v1 game. This is a game with 5 other people on your team. It is horrendously complicated to work out. So what I want to say is this, right? And please listen to me, guys, because your placement games in Season 3 are not a clean slate. This is not a fresh beginning. It is not, welcome, play your placement games. If you win all 10, you'll be placed into Master and above, because you won't. Because it's all based off MMR, and placement is there to sort of confirm if your skill rating from last season is in line with your MMR, right? Both figures have to be the same. If they're not, then there's a problem, right? So what this meant for Season 2 was a lot of people got placed into Diamond, into Platinum, and even into Gold, really, but mainly into Platinum and Diamond. Too much, right? Maybe you had a Diamond player that was actually a Gold player, but after placement got put into Diamond. What that meant, and this happened a hell of a lot, and probably a lot of you guys listen to this can attest to this. in the comments maybe, but the first couple of games that I played after Season 2 placement were really strange. Like, it felt like you were playing against people who were really easy sometimes, or you had players on your team that were maybe not at your level. Now, when I say that, I'm not shitting on people and saying like, oh, you're so bad, you're not at my level. What I'm saying is they might not be of a diamond level at that point. They might have been of a gold level, which meant they're probably good players, but they might not have the same sort of understanding of the game. So you can clearly tell, right? But this had a major knock-on effect, because those players that maybe were placed diamond or placed platinum, and wrongly so, they went on a losing streak after placement, which didn't feel great, which again comes back to the idea, it's a game, right? You have to feel like you're having fun when you play it. You don't want to just play something and get smashed over and over again, lose things, lose rank, lose. People don't like to lose, people like to win. But with a multiplayer game, you can't always win, right? You're going to have to lose sometimes, but they need to make the games fun and the games fair. So these players would go on a losing streak, and then they'd drop down into maybe, let's say a diamond player after calibration in Season 2 drops down to a platinum level, and is playing with people with the platinum icon. That diamond player then has an unfair superiority complex. They think, I'm diamond, I'm better than you, right? And then this can cause them to be a little bit toxic sometimes. Sorry, I've just slapped the microphone. A little bit toxic sometimes to their teammates, and which is not great. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it does happen. I've seen it happen with players who are like Grandmaster or whatever. They'll say, oh God, get off the DPS, you know, I should DPS, I should do this, whatever. So you get that kind of everywhere, right? But it was made worse after the placement games in Season 2. Now, what is happening in Season 3 is it's trying to fix this mistake, but it's having a bit of an issue with the community, right? Because nobody likes to be told that you actually are not as good as you thought you were, and that's what's happening. I'm getting loads of messages, like I said, off people, and they're saying things to me like, Sty, I'm not going to play again this season because why the hell am I in silver? I was a platinum player last year, and now I'm in silver. What I think is happening, and I don't know this 100% certain just yet, the placement games are trying to confirm if your rank from last season is actually correct. And remember, last season was literally a week ago. It's not like it was a year ago and you've become rusty or whatever. It was just the other week. So it should be fresh. It should be kind of easy to confirm. And that's what placement is there for. To say, hang on, is this player actually, look at me, right? Is he actually a high diamond sort of middle master player from last season? Or did we get that wrong? Is he really a bronze player? Let's find out, right? And it puts me into games and I go through the placement. I win 5, I lose 4, and I draw 1. And then it says, actually, yeah, he probably is 3.4. Well, my season high was 3.8. My season final rank was 3.34 or something like that. So it actually placed me higher than my season final, but not by much. And it's almost said to me, all right then, if you think you're this, go and do it. And yeah, I'm back in Masters now, so I went and did it. It's like, well, whatever, that's been done. The problem is, though, people seem to think these placement games are a complete clean slate. They are not, right? It is not 10 games to try and say, right, who are you? We know nothing about you, because they know a lot about you because you've played in other seasons, right? I literally played 500 games and more in Season 2. So they've got a lot of data on my account, a lot of statistics for the MMR and all that stuff. The game is not saying, right, all of that is gone. If you win 10 games, we'll put you in Masters. Or even Grandmasters. If you lose 10 games, we'll put you in Bronze. It doesn't work like that. This is what you've got to understand. So when people send me a message and they're like, and like I said, I'm getting loads of these messages. What is this? I've won 8 games, lost 2. Why the hell am I 2.3? How the hell did you get 3.4? It's because my MMR is different. Those games are not the same. My performance in those games has been deemed to be better than that player's performance, right? In their other games. It plays that are on my team, plays that I'm against, how am I performing, what's going on, what am I doing in the game. It works all of this out, and then it says this is your rank, right? If I was playing with bronze players, I would be way better because I've been playing at a master level. So there's a lot of different leagues there in between that. However, diamond players can have a good game, right? Even high platinum players can still have a good game with you, right? But gold players, you are noticeably better than a gold player if you're playing in masters, like noticeably better. It's like grandmaster players are quite a bit better than master players. And then top 500 and then pro gamers and blah, blah, blah. In fact, talking about pro gamers, let's talk about those. So I use IDDQD as an example in the previous video I made about the placement system, where he lost 8 games and won 2. I think maybe he had a few draws in there, but he only won 2 games, right, after his placement, which you would think, right, that's really bad. He's going to go down into gold or something. No, he placed at 4.5k. That is grandmaster, high grandmaster. What's he doing there? It's because his MMR is so high. He is not a bad player, and that actually proves that the matchmaking system is working, because if he got placed into silver or gold or whatever, right, he would annihilate those players, and he would annihilate me, he would annihilate most of the master population, whatever. He's only going to have an issue when he's playing against other pro gamers or people who are literally in the top 100 of the game, right? They're the only people who are going to be able to play against that guy, and the game knows this because of his past performances. So it gave him a rank based off that, which, even though he lost his games, is still an extremely high rank, right? Because he's not going to... That's where that player belongs, you know, and that's what this is all about, trying to work out. Where do you belong in the game? Because the game has to balance you having a good time, you having an interesting game, and it being a fun experience, against you getting absolutely destroyed, you having a bad experience, and you becoming basically a toxic player as a result. Still has some critical issues with it though, which I think we're all going to agree on right now, but the way that it displays your rank is a little bit of an issue, especially right now, especially if you've had Diamond in Season 2 and now suddenly you're Gold. Especially if you had Gold in Season 2 and now suddenly you're Bronze. Because they are trying to distribute the ranks better. They are trying to spread people across. They put way too many into Diamond and Platinum, and those players need to be pushed around. That means everything else is going to expand, right? That means there's going to be more players in Silver, more players in Bronze. Please don't worry, guys, about your rank. It is a game. We've got to have fun when we play it. There are loads of videos out there on YouTube. There's loads of stuff you can read, you can watch if you want to actually get better at the game. But none of that really matters at the end of the day. Just please have fun. And just remember, right? Just remember, I have fun when I play this game, right? It is not do or die. It isn't go out there and, like, you've got to perform as it's going to be the worst thing ever. You have to have fun when you play these games. There's been endless discussion about this. If you don't have fun, then really, guys, play a different game. I hope that has cleared up some of the confusion. Alright guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Maybe you disagree with what I've said, maybe you agree. Maybe you've got some horror stories about where you placed compared to where you were, because there will be anomalies, and this is something I need to stress. There will be anomalies in the system. It can't be perfect, and there will be people who get very unlucky. So you will have people that leave your placement games, and even so, right? Worst case scenario for me, if I lost every placement game, it'd probably put me at 3k or something like that, right? 3.1, which would be like, okay, a bit disappointing, but I can work with that, right? Because I know I can play at that level. It's not going to put me into Bronze. It's not going to say, no, you're so bad, you're going into Bronze. So even if you do get unlucky, there's going to be a chance to fix it after placement games. I very rarely think the game is going to screw you astronomically and just go, actually, yeah, you might have been 3.2k for all of Season 2 and you played hundreds of games. Now you're going to be 1.1k. I don't think that's ever going to happen. If it has, let me know in the comments below, because we will need to talk about that, because that is... that'll be quite extreme. Anyway, guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost, and this has been a very detailed discussion on just what is going on with rank, what is going on with placement, how MMR works, and yeah, thank you to my glamorous assistant, Jeff. You can follow me on Twitter, guys, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I will catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.